Welcome to another episode of the Consistency Queen. My name is Elsa Morgan. Thank you for being here. Today, I will be going over the success framework that consistently allows you to build six-figure businesses without burnout. You see, this is a framework that I have mastered for several years and have been teaching my clients to build their own successful six-figure businesses. And whilst everything is dependent upon you to implement, the principles of the framework apply. And as long as you commit to applying what makes up the six-figure blueprint, you will allow yourself the opportunity to build a six-figure business if you do it over time. So I want you to grab a pen and paper, because not only are you going to be able to learn something new, but you're also going to be able to apply these principles and start working towards your six-figure business. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Elsa Morgan. I have been in the online space for over 10 years, well, almost 10 years, sorry. And during that time, I've built successful six-figure businesses and currently now scaling my business to 7 figures in cash. And during the time that I have built my own business, I've been able to establish some very key fundamentals that apply and that do work. The key to all of this is one principle, which is consistency, which makes up the framework. So I will say that this is not a get rich quick scheme. And if that's what you're looking for, this is not the episode for you. However, if you are looking for a framework that absolutely does work, that does shift you, that does move you, then I encourage you to come back to this episode whenever you feel like you need some inspiration, motivation, and direction to get you started again or to get you to relaunch again. Because as long as you apply these principles, you will allow yourself the opportunity to build the solid foundation in your business that it needs, but also develop mastery and focus in the areas that are absolutely necessary. Now, it is my own personal opinion that anything outside of these fundamentals are literally a distraction. And as long as you apply yourself, then you allow yourself every opportunity to win. So let's get started. So the first thing in terms of allowing yourself to build a successful six-figure business is, and this is separate to the framework, by the way, is you need to make a decision. So you need to make a decision that you're committing to what is required to build a six-figure business. And this means literally allowing yourself to fail, allowing yourself to learn, allowing yourself to win as well, but also to commit, allowing yourself to commit fully. Where I find a lot of people let themselves down is they like the idea of building a six-figure plus business. They enjoy the possibility of what that could mean for themselves and for their family and, for their life. But when there's a realization that there's growth required and there's learnings required and that this may not necessarily just happen overnight, then they quit, or they decide to start something new, or they just have a moment and then, let go of everything that they've done up until this point. And herein lies my advice to you. If you have a tendency to do this, is you need to make a decision. It is my experience that when you go all in on your vision and you make a decision, like you're going to achieve this no matter what, you're going to commit to making this happen, then you will understand that there are lessons along the way. There aren't things there to stop you. There are challenges to help you grow and evolve. There's going to be opportunities for you to step up into that next level version that is required for you to achieve your six-figure business. But fully committing and making a decision is going to allow you to then understand everything that is required, but more importantly, is going to give you the permission to just go ahead and do it without the expectation that you need to be perfect up front, without thinking that you're a failure, without thinking that this is not possible for you, because literally you've committed to the growth and the expansion that's required. So I wanted to start off with that message because This will require you to learn and grow. This will mean that you will probably fail forward. You'll probably make mistakes. You'll probably encounter some, unfavorable things. But that's all part of the journey. What will happen is that it will change you. It will shift you. It'll provide you with expansion opportunities and just experiences that you will never ever experience if you don't go through this. And it'll help you to grow and evolve to become that person that's going to achieve it. So I need you to understand that making the decision is absolutely necessary. You can't just start a business and expect it to happen if you haven't fully committed to the process of change that's required. Okay? So let's get started. So step number 1, you need to get very clear on your vision. Get very clear on what it is that you want to achieve in this lifetime. Get very clear on the very things that you want to experience for yourself. If you want to buy a dream house, if you want to buy a dream car, if you want to travel, from a personal perspective, there has to be something in it for you. And that's okay. It's okay to desire more. It's okay to want these things, because this is what gives us some ammunition to get out of bed and do things. Of course, it's not all about that. There has to be a level of fulfillment, which is where your mission is. Who will you be serving? What kind of business will you have? How will you be helping people? And to what level will that be? Will it be just locally or within your country, or globally even? Will you have like a global expansion? You get to decide. This is the fun bit. This is where you get to decide how big you want to go and what is it that you see for yourself, for your family. Do you want to leave a legacy for generations? Or do you want to, provide contribution to charities in your name? So this is where you get to enjoy a moment where you just flesh all this out, blank sheet of paper, you've got this blank canvas. What is it that you want to do with your life? And once you have that down pat, you've got to get solid on that and just make sure that it is what you want. Where people let themselves down is they say, oh, you know what, it's probably not going to happen, so I won't put that down. And that sounds pretty outrageous, so I won't put that down either. And I'm going to challenge you and say, no, go there. Go there. Like, absolutely go for everything that you want. Put it all down, no matter how crazy it sounds. It is not your business to know how it's going to happen. It is your business to know that it is what you want to happen. And that's absolutely important for you to understand. In order for you to have the life that you want, you've got to put it down. Much like you putting in an order with Amazon. You've got to put in that order in order for energetics, universe, God, to play their part as well, because energetics do come into hand. And, we are such powerful beings that unless we have some emotional connection or desire attached to something, it's never going to evolve. We only the things that we focus on and we have an emotional attachment actually evolves. And if we give it enough focus, you'd be surprised at what actually presents. Our brain is that powerful to take the instruction of what it is that we want. And so it knows that if you consistently think about something, it's going to take that as an indication that that is what you want to bring into your life. That is what you want to see more of. So it will put you into situations and circumstances where you will get to see that, where you'll get to experience that. So make sure that you put in your order and get clear on your vision and your mission. The second thing after that is to do some goal setting. Now, what I mean by goal setting, it's a two-step effect. One is to get a bit of an idea of what it's going to take to achieve your vision. You may not necessarily know how things may happen, but at least you might have a bit of an idea. Let me give you an example. You might have this desire to buy a dream house somewhere. And I often say this to my clients. I mean, you can start today. And how you start is literally do some investigative work, online, and find out how much houses cost in that area that you want to live. And have a look at the types of houses that are there and start having a bit of an idea of what life's going to look like. And of course, an extension to that in terms of energetics and visualization and manifestation, etc., is you actually going there if you can and playing the local and feeling into the possibility that, you know, this is going to be your local coffee shop. This is going to be where you're going to be shopping. This is where you're probably going to visit the bank, etc. So you can play local. But up until that point, you can go online and get a bit of an idea of what houses might look like. And then you can understand what sort of a deposit you might need should your dream house come about. And so once you know the deposit, nothing is stopping you right now, today, in this moment, to open up a savings account and start putting money towards that. You can put like a weekly amount every single week. And what's happening there is, again, when we go via, you know, setting the intention and focusing on things that we want more of, you know, your brain's going to pay attention to that. But more importantly, from a habits point of view, you are acting as the person that is going to be saving up or is saving up for a deposit to buy a house. So you can start today. In terms of buying a dream car, similar sort of thing. In terms of setting a foundation, you can look at what foundations are out there that cater for what you want to set up for, in terms of the audience that you want to cater for. Nothing is stopping you from starting to do some research now. And there are so many examples of that. And when you come into my world, we game plan on all of that to make that happen. We put some loose strategies, we put some strategies together. And of course, what's going to happen is once you set the intention, you're going to learn things along the way, right? And that's also going to give you a really good idea in terms of targets that you set for your business, to help you to start realizing some of these things. And so once you set the intention about the things that you want to focus on from a vision perspective, and you understand roughly how you could get there, you can set some targets for your business to work towards. And once you set your yearly amount, you can break that down into a monthly amount, and then break it down into a weekly amount, and then reverse that, engineer that back to a daily amount. And so that every single day you have an idea of what that could look like for you. So that's number one, understanding what it is that you need to, aim towards that's going to support your vision. Okay. So once you understand on a daily basis what you need to bring in to achieve your monthly amount, you can then reverse engineer that even further to conversations. And especially if you know your conversion rate, you'll be able to have a bit of an idea of what it's going to take in terms of lead generation, how many leads you need, how many people you need into your active pipeline to be able to convert and have those sales generated. And then if you go even one step further, it will also lead you into the kind of content, in terms of content creation. If you have to have a stronger focus on lead generation, well, that's going to help you to understand the type of content you need to create more leads, right? If you need some more nurturing content, then again, same sort of thing. You'll be able to have a bit of a focus and run a campaign around that. So all things are possible once you get clear on your vision. And that will lead into your goal setting and setting your milestones for your business. And then from there, where you're going to go from there is set up your daily method of operation. So you know what it is that you're working towards, and then you know what it is in terms of the amount that you need to bring in. And then it's about what do you need to be doing every day. Now, I have a proprietary 3-step system that incorporates time management, also income producing tasks, as well as how to create some time for yourself. So then that way, not only are you doing the things that are going to be moving the needle in your business, you're also going to be curating time for yourself. So then that way you rest adequately, you also pour into yourself, you also spend adequate time with important people in your life. So you're building this business without burnout, which is really, really important, because there is this fallacy out there that, if you do more and you do more and you do more and you do more and you do more, that you're going to create more, that you're going to generate more. And that may not necessarily be the case. In fact, it is my own personal experience. It's not about doing more, it's about getting better. You need to get better with articulating your marketing. You need to get better at managing your time. You need to get better at managing your focus. So when you understand that it's not more, but it's actually your ability and your, in terms of getting better, but your ability to also master your skills. And once you understand that you can have time to do things, obviously you need to keep it nice and tight if you want to have extraordinary results. Like if you want to achieve 6 figures within 12 months and you've never done it before, based on my own personal experience, I've had to say no to things that I would normally say yes to. Why? Because my focus is on achieving results that most people will never achieve. I'm wanting to, collapse time. I want to compress my results and bring them forward faster. So then that way, I'm able to achieve it. And so I remove distractions that are not in alignment with what, what I want to achieve. Now, for some people, they don't like that idea. And I understand that. That's okay. That, removing the distractions may not be your thing. You might still want to keep all the things, but then you can't be wanting the results that I've generated, because that's what it's required me to do, is to remove all the distractions and to get lasered in on the things that matter in my life. So God, family, business, in that order, and also get really lasered and focused on my business and what I need to do to move the needle in my business, which incorporates managing my time, managing and incorporating income producing activities every single day, as well as carving out time for myself, which is my whole energy management and focus strategy. So then I reduce burnout, and I teach this to my clients so they don't experience burnout as well. Because again, it's not about how much more, it is about how much better can you get. And you can do way more in less time. Okay, the next thing that you need to focus on is your personal brand. Now, when I'm talking about your personal brand, I'm not talking about just colors and fonts and photos. I'm actually talking about your values. I'm talking about who you are and what you stand for. I'm talking about, the essence of you and what makes you you. And so your personal brand is everything. It's like, in this day and age, it is the very first thing that people will notice about you. It will help people to get connected to you. It will help people to understand you. It will help you to not only position yourself from an authority point of view and a category of one, a go-to person, but it's also going to help you to get very, very clear on who it is that you want to serve and position yourself to serve your ideal avatar. And it'll help to disqualify those people that will never, ever be in alignment with what it is that you want to do and how you help people. So you want to position yourself in such a way that it leaves no stone unturned, and there's absolute clarity about who you are, what you stand for, why you're doing this, how you help people. Yeah. And so how you do that is you really get clear on your value system. What are your standards? What are your non-negotiables? And also your beliefs in terms of why it is that you're doing what you're doing. If I can give you my example, like for me, this framework helps women to build 6-figure businesses. I strongly believe in that. I know that to be true because I've seen it myself. And so the more that you can apply yourself to this framework, you give yourself every opportunity to achieve that as well. And I believe that to be true. And so that is my brand. That's why I call myself the 6-figure mentor. That's why my blueprint is called the 6-figure blueprint, because these are the things that not only have I done, but so many of my clients have replicated into their business and achieve 5-figure months and achieve 6-figure businesses. Okay. So your personal brand has to be something that is authentic and true to you. And you can't be building a brand that you believe people want you to be. You've got to build a brand, the essence and what you stand for of you to be true. Like, what is the absolute truth about who you are? Okay, so that's the next thing. Now, step 5 is your ideal avatar. So when I talk about your ideal client or your ideal avatar, I'm talking about the person that you can absolutely help right now with what it is that you offer. Think about what it is that they're going through right now, your ideal client. Think about 4 to 5 things that they're experiencing right now in terms of pain, discomfort, challenges, situations or circumstances that are unfavorable and they no longer want to experience. And then think about how, your solution, your product, your service is able to help them. Think about, what are the steps that you took when you were in the circumstances that they are right now? What decisions did you make? What were the things that you experienced as a direct result of you making those decisions? What were the next steps? These are all things that you take into account when you're establishing the people that you want to help. Now, I have to be absolutely clear. When I first started in the online space, I was marketing to all and really selling to none. And what I mean by that is that a lot of the times I would attract people that really weren't in alignment with who I am and how I operate and how I be, because I was marketing myself to everybody and trying to help everybody, but of course I'm not for everybody. And for me, I'm a no BS coach and I'm a straight shooter, and I'll call it as I see it, eloquently, of course. But when I got absolutely clear with who I wanted to speak to, and I niched down to a specific, archetype, a specific type of person, and really got clear on what it was that they were experiencing, which was me some time ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, then I knew exactly where they were. I knew exactly the steps that I took. I knew exactly what was going to happen and, the frustrations they were likely to experience as a direct result of them taking the next steps and potentially wanting to go back because, the unknown is so scary. But at the same time, I can hold my clients' hands, my ideal avatar's hands, because I know what's coming. I know, through facing the fears and just moving along and stepping into the unknown, I know the possibilities that will present. And so because I'm able to speak to the one, as I say, to that one ideal client, then I'm able to help a hell of a lot more, because I'm very specific about the challenges, and it's very nuanced to a person who is experiencing what I experienced some time ago. And not everybody is that person, right? It's a very specific, high achieving female, woman over 40, is someone that is used to success, has achieved things before, and now they have this desire to build a sustainable, robust, strong, 6-figure plus business, and is prepared to do the work. They've decided they want to do the work. And when I speak to this kind of person, leads pop up, inquiries pop up, sales increase. And so I really want you to take that into account when you're deciding who it is that you're marketing to. What is the promise that you're likely to give this person, and how will you help them? Because that's going to help you with the next step. Okay? And we're here now, and it's branding, marketing, and sales. And so when I talk about branding, it incorporates your personal brand, right? So we're infusing that into your branding, marketing, and sales strategy. And that's also helping your marketing piece in terms of your social media posts. So, I have a very, very specific social media framework that incorporates, 7 posts in any given week. And half of that framework is around positioning you and helping you to build authority and build credibility and to be seen as a category of one. And then 3 of those is really loosely based around you and your brand, who you are as a person, your value system, and you embodying what it is that you teach. And so when you apply a very specific marketing strategy and you do that over a very specific period of time, and for me, it's like consistently forever, right? You need to be showing up every day, posting something, adding value. Literally by posting on social media, you're allowing yourself to be open for business, so to speak. But then more than that, your marketing has to incorporate lead generation, content, and also nurturing and conversion content. So better said in the marketing world is top of funnel, which is lead generation, and then middle and bottom of the funnel, which is nurturing and conversion. Same thing. And you need to incorporate both types, or all types, sorry, of content as part of your strategy as well. And if you don't have that, you'll find yourself constantly in a feast or famine kind of scenario, and you also will find yourself constantly achieving leads but not really being able to close them, because you've got to do a lot more work in the sales end because your marketing's not doing the job for you. And so it's really important to establish a strategy that's going to incorporate all of those, so that your marketing does the bulk of the work. So by the time you're having a sales conversation, it's really more or less a confirmation in the buyer's mind that, this is exactly what I want. That's where you want to work your marketing too, that it does the bulk of the work for you. It's not only creating new eyes on you, opportunities for new eyes on you, but it's also nurturing your prospective clients and them solidifying the belief in what it is that you do and who you are as a person. And then at the same time, you'll have pieces of content that absolutely allow the conversion to happen, and you'll get, either a sale processed or you'll get a call booked in, etc. And that's what you want. So make sure that whatever strategy that you implement, that it is very structured and specific and tailored and intentional for the kind of client that you want to bring in. Okay. In terms of what I do, I have a very specific social media framework that my clients implement, and it works. When you implement it over time, it really does help you to build authority and you become that category of one. Which leads me to the sales component. And so your sales component is more than you, sending information or following up. It's about asking quality questions that are going to help you to identify whether this person is really in alignment with who you want to work with. And then asking specific closing questions. So then you're asking for the sale. A lot of people just don't want to ask for the sale, but do you want to get paid or not? Another thing that is important as part of your sales strategy is also anticipating the objections. Once you understand who your ideal avatar is, you're going to also get a bit of an idea of what their likely objections might be. Like, what are some of their reservations? And if you want to go one step further and get really good at this, you can anticipate the objections, and you can even create content anticipating the objections and answering those objections in your content, right? So basically saying, for those of you who don't have time to build your six-figure business, this is for you. Or POV, you don't have time to build your six-figure business. Anything like that. Because what you're doing is saying to your ideal client, I see you, I know what you're saying. I know that this is what you're saying to yourself, but I'm calling BS. In a nice way, of course, right? So, for my clients, I ask them to create a scenario where, on paper, they write down 5 different types of objections, and then to create statements. So they already know what they need to say. I'm already training them to be confident in overcoming the objections. And you need to understand that if you want to be a professional at this and you really want to help people win, you also need to help navigate the challenges in terms of the stuff that they're going to come back to you with. And the obvious ones are price and time and not feeling ready, or what does this mean at the end, and etc. And all you got to do is just think about that and even prepare some statements, so then that way you're prepared. Okay, which leads me to step number 7, which is your mindset. So all of these points up until this, the steps up until now have been strategy. It's all been around everything that you need to do that are going to move the needle, but nothing will move the needle more up until now than who you are, in terms of your energy, in terms of your focus, in terms of your belief systems, in terms of your emotions. All of these things come into play, and having a very robust, structured and focused and lasered in mindset mastery and emotional mastery strategy is going to support your growth and development, because there are going to be some belief systems that will need to be broken down, stuff that you're telling yourself. There are going to be some emotions that will come into play and will drastically affect your focus. There are going to be some circumstances that are going to be unfavorable, and you need to know how to navigate that. Unless you have a strategy to help you, to support you in that, and to prepare you, you're literally going to be caught off guard, and potentially it could kick you out altogether. So having some sort of plan together to not only start sharpening the saw, like getting your mindset sharp, but knowing where to go to should challenges arise, knowing what tools to implement, knowing how to, how to navigate yourself when things happen, because you're going to get haters, you're going to get challenges, you're going to have things happen as well in your personal life. And how will you show up? How will you navigate all of that? It's really important for you to at least anticipate that and get some things into play. And there are so many resources to help you with this. Like, there are not only just programs and courses, but you have podcasts freely available. You have YouTube channels and trainings on YouTube. You have e-courses available. You have books available. And you also have, social media that you can learn from as well, by the way of mentors. So, you should never ever feel alone or completely lost, because you can pretty much guarantee that at some point in time, those that have gone before you have experienced very similar. And you can lean on their experience to be able to help you to move forward from where you are right now. So place an importance on having a mindset strategy, an emotional mastery strategy, an energy strategy, so in terms of your energetics and your relationship with money, etc., and also a focus strategy. These are all really important. How to laser in on your focus, so important. And that leads us to the final step, which wraps everything up into one. So if you don't do all of these things consistently, then it's going to be very difficult for you to build a six-figure business that's going to be sustainable and built on a solid foundation. Consistency underpins all. And so when I talk about consistency, I'm not saying work 24/7 and, with until you're absolutely burnt out. No, I mean, consistency may mean one day you have a really big day and another day you have a low day and then another day you have a big day. It's the act of you showing up and doing all of these steps. Now, it may seem like a lot of steps, but it's actually not. And the more that you apply yourself, you're going to do this with your eyes closed, because you understand that this is what is required to build a successful business. And you've got to get excited too. It's your business. This is something that you're creating for yourself. Wouldn't you want to set it up right? Wouldn't you want to make sure that you know exactly what it is that you need to do the right way, the one that is going to support the infrastructure that you're building, support the foundation, build the solid foundation? And you do that by the way of consistency. That's going to help you to develop mastery in all of the areas. That's what's going to help you to get very good at what you do. And that's also going to help you to build credibility, authority, and also build a reputation that you're solid, right? You're going to be around for a while. And the exciting thing about consistency, outside of the fact that it helps you to build mastery and gain credibility and build a solid brand and a great business, is that there is an unseen force, which is the compound effect. And once you do things enough time, what will happen is this massive acceleration that will come out of that. And you'll experience that many times over if you apply yourself consistently over time. Scientifically, consistency comes into play at some point between day 65 to day 365. And that was through some research from Stanford University, I think it was. And so you have to understand that this is not something that's a 21 day. It's at least 2 months of every single day, solid application, and then all the way through for a year. I mean, success is inevitable. Like, you will see results if you apply yourself consistently. 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. It's mathematically impossible unless you're doing it from a low frequency and you're really not paying attention to what you're doing. But if you're following the framework, you will be doing that. So consistency is is what glues everything together. If you're not doing all of the areas consistently, then you're not going to give yourself the opportunity to build a six-figure business. And this is what I've done. I've done all of the steps consistently. And since I've launched my own company in the middle of 2021, I've done all of these things consistently, meaning every single day. And it's got me to a point where not only have I radically changed my circumstances, I've helped hundreds of women to help build successful businesses. Many have gone on to build six-figure, multiple six-figure, even seven-figure businesses. And so if this is someone like you, I encourage you to use the six-figure blueprint, apply it, use it every day, trust in it, know that it's a proven framework, that not only will it give you the results if you apply it over time. Notice how I'm not giving you a guaranteed time, but if you apply it over time, but you will also do it without burnout, which is so important because you're keeping the main thing. You're focusing on the things that you need to be doing. You're removing the distractions that are going to pull you away from producing the results that you desire and creating an impact and helping your clients. But more importantly, it's also going to allow you to build it so then that way you also are giving back to you and having some time with significant people in your life as well, like family members, which is really important. You can't ignore them as you're building this. So I hope you have found value in this and know that this is exactly what I do. Know that this is exactly what I'm doing to build my business. Know this is exactly what I teach in my inner circle. And this is what has helped my clients to achieve extraordinary results as well. So thank you so much for being here. And of course, if you would like to have more of these trainings, you can subscribe to this podcast, this channel. But also you can go to my free community, facebook.com/groups/empower her legacy. Where I provide weekly training, free masterclasses every single week, free value every single week, and then that way you can start building on the knowledge and get some other insights that are going to help round off everything that you need to build your successful six-figure business. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you win. See you on the next episode.